Hey there, Scott Graybeard, coming to you for another video here from the Scotland slash Graybeard shop. Man, it's warming up. It's like 56 degrees right now. No sun. It's overcast, but it's 56 degrees and pretty much all the snow has melted. I don't think we could ask for much more other than to see that sun. Today's topic is going to be I got a new toolbox, a new tool cart. So I thought I would show you that, talk about tool storage, and maybe you guys will share some ideas about tool storage or what you do with your tools and how you store them to make it easier for you to get them when you're working on a project. For years I really had crappy tool storage. If you watch my videos over the years, you see my tools all hanging on the wall in the barn here, which worked well, but I've been wanting to reorganize and I wanted a cart like this. So I had pretty much I needed at my or what I needed at my fingertips. I can roll the cart right over to a car or whatever I'm working on, and I don't have to keep walking back and forth across the shop to get what I need. It tried to get the most of the necessities right here in one cart. Most of you have seen the workbench before. It's got a little high angle there, the workbench. Shameless plug for my two favorite things, Ford and beer. The power tools, impact guns, things like that are all hang right there now. I had them on the other side of the shop. I moved them. So when I'm working at my workbench, everything is right there. I thought about buying the thing that you can put on the side of your tool cart to hang your impact or whatever on there, or drill. I may do that yet, but this setup is working pretty well for me so far. But I'm trying to make life easier. I have these old toolboxes here. The black one I've had for a couple of weeks now. It's just a Hart brand from Walmart. I just needed something to organize tools a little better, and I don't need to spend a ton of money on a toolbox. So the one in the middle, that's pieces and parts from different toolboxes that I've had over the years. Things break, I toss them, mix and match, whatever, but it works. And then obviously I have kind of reorganized the selection of where my wrenches and screwdrivers are. Some screwdrivers are on that cart, but I've kind of reorganized things. Like I said, try to make my life easier, but I want to keep everything looking neat. Originally, I had, like where you're looking, I had all of my metric wrenches over here, and then on the other side of the fridge above the computer, I had my standard wrenches there, and I wanted to standardize them, bring them together, and this is what I came up with. It seems like I'm always tinkering with this, and maybe someday I'll find a setup that actually really works for me and that I'm willing to just go with. I'll give you a little look, see what's inside the boxes. And like I said, if you have any suggestions of what I can move and manipulate and rearrange to make my life easier, because whether you're actually into being a mechanic and working on things, or you're just have a toolbox in your garage because every now and then you need tools, I'm sure you have ideas about tool organization. All right, now I got you on my little selfie stick. We'll walk over here, and jack stands, gotta have those. I'm trying to make this toolbox here mostly electrical things, as you see. Various things you'll need for electrical items. There's a cheap little test light in there. I have a couple better test lights, some leads, solder, electrical tape, things like that, a few electrical connections. Some more electrical things, shrink wrap, another little test light. Electrical strippers, Stacon for crimping, and Stacons are the way to go. These wire strippers here, I don't really use these that often. I've accumulated you can see three pair of them over the years. That black set there, I don't really care for those style. For stripping wire, these things right here work amazing. Years ago, I used to work as an electrician in an RV factory, and this is what I used in there, pumping out wiring and pumping out like 25 units a day. Those come in handy, but For crimping wires, these Stacons right here, these are a must. They're a must. They're simple, but they work really well. These kind right here, like I said, I don't care for them. They're for stripping wires. You can crimp wires, but I don't care for them. Some more electrical connections, sewing needles. You know what? I have those out here because I had the seam in when I had a golf cart, the seam in the seat came loose and I re-sewed it, and I've used that as needles on a couple other projects there. So some rivets, they don't really belong here, but I stuck them in there. Just filling the drawers. Those of you who are old enough, know drum brakes, then you know what this stuff is and why you need it. A siphon pump. Under here, a bearing seal puller, there. Just kind of I needed a place to shove some stuff. There again, some various stuff. Got a pressure gauge for a fuel system in there. Bits, tin snips. My zip tie drawer. Telling you what, every time I go anywhere and I see zip ties, I buy them. Harbor Freight is an awesome place to get cheap zip ties. They may not last forever, but they're dirt cheap. And a lot of times they're giving them away for free. So I fill this drawer up with zip ties, various length and width and sizes. Move over here, Allen wrenches. Of course, I've got the T-handled Allen wrench set up there. Bunch of different sets of Allen wrenches here. Some more various bits. Utility knives. The old universal remote that goes to the TV that batteries died. I had 2 of them, and instead of replacing the batteries, I threw it in here. So things like that. Extra wrenches, screwdrivers. A lot of my extra tools like this, I have obviously complete sets of wrenches and screwdrivers, as you see, but a lot of my extra ones I've given to my son. But I keep these around because you never know when you may have to heat up one to bend it to make it fit in a funny place, and then when you're done with it, you may never need it again. You can throw it away and not feel bad about it. Drill bits. Punches. Whoop, I guess I better get the camera on the action here. Drill bits. The brass rod I talked to you about in one of my last videos. That's a must. Chisels. Got some Loctite in there. All over the place. I've got these. I've acquired these type things and I hold on to them. They come in handy. Line wrenches, metric and standard. They're all in one place in this drawer, but it still frustrates me because they're not neatly organized and they don't look the way I want them to, but at least they're all in one drawer in one place, so I know where they are. Missed one. Dikes, side cutters. What do you call them? Some people, when I say I need a pair of dikes, they laugh, think I'm talking about a lesbian, a pair of lesbians, but no, these are dikes. And I thought everyone knew that, but apparently not. We got here easy outs. Trust me, you work on things, eventually you're going to need some easy outs. Crow's feet, ratcheting wrenches, extra set. Some Torx sockets. I need to get more of those. Some Torx socket. And I don't think I have many Allen head sockets, but I do need to invest in those. Got the old spark tester. If you're working on engines, it's always not, that comes in handy. Just extra junk with a drawer that I haven't figured out what to put in it yet. Pickle fork. Those of you who work on vehicles again know what a pickle fork is. They come in handy breaking tie rods and ball joints apart. Pretty much an absolute must. This drawer, I keep the manuals for a lot of the stuff I buy, and this drawer is the manual drawer. I've got a couple other things in here, a brush and a battery terminal cleaner there. Just assortment of things, pins, springs, cotter pins, self-tapping screws, these plastic fastener kit. Keep one of those on hand. You'd be surprised how many times you need one of those, and when you don't have it, it frustrates you. So I try to keep them on hand. Different pullers. There again, if you're going to work on things, you're going to need to remove pulleys, bearings. You're going to need an assortment of pullers. Another drawer that I haven't filled up yet. Extra sockets, couple. I don't know how I ended up with so many tape measures over the years, but I did. So I'll figure out what I want to put in here sooner or later. This toolbox or the drawers on it kind of suck. Just some spare stuff, oil filter wrenches, hole saws, speed ratchets. Back in the day, speed ratchets were a real handy thing to have, but now everybody uses some sort of battery powered impact or something like that, including myself. But there's still a place for speed ratchets. I have 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch speed ratchets. And those of us who are old enough remember using them often. Obviously, some miscellaneous small screwdrivers, brushes for cleaning things. You got your welding tip cleaner kit right there, or set. Picks, Torx head, a couple larger screwdrivers that didn't want to fit in the drawer. This black old Fat Max, that I decided to keep things in for grinding. I'll get you a look inside. I can try to get you in there and get a light so you can see, but cheap electric grinder in there. Grinding wheels, cut off wheels, flap discs. There's old electric drill that my dad gave me in the 1980s. Still works. I don't use it much, but still works. I am constantly adding things to this box, taking things out of this box, but I just wanted all the grinding type things in one place. Here's something. Work gloves, shop gloves. I never used to have these things, but more and more I am wearing them when I work on things. It's so nice to pretty much get them dirty and greasy and grimy rather than your hands. But I've accumulated quite a few over the last year or so. These black ones right here, my wife loves to go to the Dollar Tree, and she drags me in there with her. And I actually got these there. They probably won't last very long, but who knows? It was like $1.50 a pair, so I thought, what the hell? I bought 2 pair. Yeah, these kind of gloves are actually nice and come in handy and saves you some time cleaning up when you're done. The old cheapo Heart toolbox. In the top right here, I just have a bunch of extra sockets that I had that I'm not sure what to do with, but there again, I may need to sacrifice one at some point for whatever project. Like this one right here, I cut and I use it. What I put that? Oh, it was on a jack that had a T handle, and I put that on there with a cordless drill. Worked like a charm. Someday I may need to sacrifice another one, but in here, crescent wrenches. That's something I don't use a whole lot, but sometimes you need one. Various sizes. There you go. Fastener tools, extraction sockets. Let me try to get some more light in there again. Extraction sockets. You work on things enough, you're going to round off a bolt head. And if you don't have a set of these, you're going to be scrambling or wishing you did. And you'll be cussing a lot. You'll be cussing a lot no matter what. But feeler gauges, absolute must if you're going to work on things. Got to have feeler gauges. Here's a relic from the past. A timing light. I don't know if you old timers remember working on the cars whenever you could actually work on them and you could use your timing light to make sure they were in time and running the best they could. Yep, still have one. Still use it. Vice grips. Everybody has to have vice grips. It's just what I've accumulated over the years. Can't have a shop without vice grips. Needle nose. Various shapes, lengths, sizes. You never know what you're going to get into when you start a project. And I'm telling you what, I bought those cheap, they're like, I don't know, 18, 20-inch needle nose pliers. I've had them like 2 weeks and I've used them quite often already. Impressed. Before that, the largest one I had was that red handled one. You see the longest red handled one. But these really help. The hose pliers with the round ends, if you don't have a set of those, get you some. Trying to take off fuel lines and various things like that, heater core hoses, things like that, those come in really handy. That's a must. These cabinets in the bottom of the toolbox, I don't even have anything in there yet. I may take my jack stands there and end up putting them in here. They'll probably fit. That's probably the best thing to do with them, but right now I have nothing in there. The lower you go on a toolbox, the less important it is to me because I don't want to have to bend over that far. Like this little thing here has that little cubby there. I have one of those plastic welders in there, which if you don't have one of those, that's a must too. Those are awesome to repair cracked plastic on things, and a heat gun. That's all I have in there. The new tool cart. I'm happy to have this. I can show you how I set it up. On the lid here, of course, I have so much stuff here I can't close the lid, but I don't want to close it really and use the lid as a workbench anyway. I have a workbench, but you can see picks, different shapes, size, length picks. The little thumb speed ratchets there. There's another battery cable terminal cleaner. 3/8, half-inch, quarter-inch ratchets here. The extendable 3/8 breaker bar. A half-inch breaker bar. I have another half-inch breaker bar, but it's too big to fit in the toolbox. And right now I'm keeping that in my truck. I use it when I pull my trailer, so if I have a flat on the trailer, I can get the tire off. So another set of wrenches, a couple stubby screwdrivers, a little magnetic tray, some bits there for the impact wrench. I think that's about it for the top. Oh, the magnets, these extendable magnets, man, do they come in handy. Drop a screw, drop a nut, and it always ends up someplace you can't get your hand, and having one or two of these extendable magnets is awesome. In the top tray, sockets, impact sockets in the back, metric and standard. Metric and standard other sockets, half-inch, 3/8, quarter-inch. Try to keep them organized so I don't have to dig. Some swivels there. More ratchets. On this side, over here, screwdrivers, I guess, before I go to the side. More screwdrivers here. On the side, a couple more magnetic trays. Cordless ratchet. Man, those things come in handy. Pry bars. On the other side, lights. I have another light just like this, but I was using it, so it's on the workbench over there. But some lights, and what I got down here, a couple tape measures, lubricants, things like that. In the bottom, some nitrile gloves. Got the old electric impact wrench back there, half-inch impact wrench. The old battery charger here. I've had this forever. I do have a new one here. This is one of the smart chargers, but sometimes these smart chargers, when the battery is completely dead, it won't sense it and it won't do anything. You can take one of these old analog chargers, put it on your battery and boil it, and it'll bring it up enough that you can put it on the smart charger. So that's why I don't get rid of this whole thing. Down here, compression test kit, vacuum pump kit here. Those things come in handy. Standard and metric tap and die sets. That vacuum pump there, I had a 97 Ford F-150 with a 5-speed transmission in. The slave cylinder went out on the clutch. They replaced it, and I had to bleed the clutch, and that vacuum pump came in really handy for that. You can use it to bleed your brakes. These. Got the disc brake caliper set there. Those come in handy. So just little things to make my life easier. In the drawers. Pliers, regular pliers, lineman pliers, snap ring pliers, a couple different types there. I have 2 pair of soft jaw pliers there. Those come in really handy. You're working on something you don't want to mar up. Soft jaw pliers. Channel locks. What are these, forceps or whatever, but those come in handy. You should have one in your toolbox. You're picking up small things, pinching off lines temporarily. They come in real handy. Battery terminal puller. The little extendable mirror. There again, this goes pretty much right along with those extendable mirrors. Or extendable, should say, magnets. You drop something, it always ends up somewhere you can't see, you can't get your hands. It's nice to have a little extendable magnet like that to help you find it. And then you can go to the extendable magnet and get it because you saw it on your extendable mirror. The next drawer, extensions. Another flashlight, needed a home, so I shoved it in there. Different lengths, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch extensions. Battery load tester, voltmeters. I've collected these over the years. You can do a lot with one of these cheap voltmeters right here. It has a lot of options that you can do some basic diagnostics with. You don't need to be an electrical engineer to use it to figure different things out, continuity, ohms, voltage, things like that. Pretty simple. This one here is a Harbor Freight one. It has a lot of extra features on it. And when you get into diagnosing things, a little deeper dive into diagnosing things, having a better voltmeter is a must. And this is actually a very good one for it. And this Fluke one here, if you know anything about Fluke products, they're very well made. They're not cheap. And this one was gifted to me. After I bought this one, that one was gifted to me. But this Harbor Freight one can rival that Fluke one, to tell you the truth. But I use them all occasionally. That's that drawer. The last drawer, torque wrenches. Little electric thermometer here. Borescope. These things come in really handy. There's a camera on the end right here, has a light. You can stick it down in a cylinder hole and see, or in a spark plug hole, and see the cylinder. Stick it in a lot of places that you can't see to get an eyeball on what's going on. These are well worth the money. I have a headlamp light, which really helps. Here's a better test light. Couple different size of these pry bar centering tools. These come in really handy. You're trying to line up 2 holes. You can stick it in there and helps you line them up a lot. A punch set, My old scan tool, the new scan tool. This is a security bit set. This is another bolt extraction set. Like I said with the other one, you round off a bolt, you're going to be very unhappy and wish you had one of these. So do yourself a favor, buy one, put it in your toolbox, and when the day comes that you need it, you'll be glad you have it. So that's it. That's my new tool cart. And oh my God, getting old sucks. At some point in filming one of those clips, I set this little clicker down, remote clicker. Couldn't remember where I put it. It took me about 5 minutes to walking around the shop here to find it. And guess where it was? Right where I left it. Like I said, that is my latest tool storage setup. Make a video about your tool storage. Talk about things. Any ideas, suggestions you have, let me know. I'm always looking to improve, add on, and make my life easier. I appreciate you watching. Until my next video, this is Scott Graybeard saying make sure you always take the time to tell those you love what they truly mean to you, because you never know when it just may be too late.